Hello, my name is Alan Little. I'm here to talk about the July 2015 beta for IBM Application Server on the cloud. IBM Application Server on the cloud is a method where you can take existing WebSphere applications and deploy them in a WebSphere application server, either full profile or Liberty profile, running inside a virtual machine on the cloud. It gives you portability of the applications so that you can expand your footprint into the cloud or be able to develop new applications running in the cloud using your existing skills and assets. It uses the same administrative scripts, the same admin console, and the same environmental tools as traditional WebSphere and Liberty on-premise today. And this is now available as a beta in the Bluemix Platform as a Service Cloud. So we're going to take you through a brief demo of how to set up IBM Application Server on the cloud. There's 5 steps that you need to look at, and we'll go through them, some in this video, some will be separate videos. So the first step is how to provision up the application server using the Bluemix console. So we'll step through that. Next is a separate set of videos on how to establish a VPN connection to the environment where your applications will run. How to connect and use the application environment once it's set up. How to connect using the WebSphere developer tools to connect to the application server in your environment. And then ultimately how to deprovision the environment. So before we get in there, let me give you a brief picture of what it is you get when you provision the environment up. And we'll start from the inside out. So when you provision the environment up, you'll get your own private virtual machine. Inside that virtual machine is a Red Hat operating system, and on top of that is the WebSphere application server you requested, either a Liberty profile or a full profile. Each virtual machine gets its own private IP address, and then you are running inside a private subnet with multiple VMs potentially owned by other clients. So now let's take you to the demos. So I've logged on to the Bluemix console and gone to my dashboard. You'll see I have a set of services already defined that I'm using, but I want to add to it an IBM Application Server on the cloud. I do that by going to Catalog, and then from Catalog I find Web and Applications. And under Web and Application, I find the Application Server on the Cloud tile. I click on that, where I find a description of the service. This is referred to as an offering portal. And I have 2 plans that I can choose. I can choose the Liberty plan, which gives you back an instance of a Liberty server running in a VM, or I can run a full profile plan. We'll do both here in a moment, but just to give you a general view. So I have a space, which is where I'm going to attach my service. I can assign a name, so Alan's Liberty instance. And then I can say Liberty plan. I hit create, and in the background, an instance of Liberty is being provisioned and will be returned to me with information I need to access that plan. It actually returns fairly quickly, and it gives you all the information you need to access an instance of Liberty. So in this particular case, there's a set of documentation, which are getting started documentation that I'd recommend that you read. There are configurations for configuring your VPN, and we'll go through that in a different video. Then there's then it gives you information on the service itself. This particular instance is a Liberty profile when it was created, and in fact, you're allowed to use it in this beta for upwards of 2 weeks. As you get close to the end of that 2 weeks and the lease for this particular server is expired, you'll see another button arrive that will let you extend that lease for a little bit longer if you want to continue to use the server. Since you actually do have a virtual machine, you need a mechanism to start and stop that virtual machine to be able to re-IPL it. In this particular case, we give you a button that will allow you to stop the virtual machine, and another one to restart the virtual machine, and a twisty here to let you check on the status as you're going through that. Then below that, you have a set of resources that you can actually look at and do things with. So what we're telling you is this is a Red Hat 6.6 64-bit instance. You can actually look at the terms and conditions of the license if that's in fact what you need to do. There's actually the IP address or host name of the server, and what the root user ID's name is. If you want the password to connect to the root user, you can hit this show password, and this is a generated set of credentials since you never actually had this operating system before. This is what you need to use to log on. I'd recommend as soon as you log on you change that password, but it was generated as we generated the machine and returned back to you. And so we give you a hide and show mechanism so that if somebody's looking at your console, they don't accidentally see it. We also have the ability to see keys. So if you want to connect to SSH using a public and private key, you can actually see one that's generated, or you can save a key itself. Giving you information on the service itself, there's one shared virtual CP. You get 2 gigabytes of memory. There's a particular iFix. This particular iFix comes with a fix for the free service security exploit. And then the pattern and level of WebSphere service that you're at, so it can kind of give you that information. Also, there are the WebSphere resources. So what is the WebSphere administrator's user ID, his password, which is also generated, and then a link to the admin center. So next I'm going to log on to the WebSphere administration console. And to do that, I quickly grab the password for the standard user ID, and then I click on take me to the admin center, where I can issue WSAdmin as the user ID and the password that I received, and log on. And you have a Liberty Admin Center that you can explore what's here. And in this particular case, it's a single instance server running Liberty with the full Liberty experience. So next we're going to go back and do a full profile. In order to do that, what I have to do is, because it is a beta, we're going to return this instance of the server, and I can do that. I can deprovision it by going to this tile in my dashboard and basically say I want to delete this service. Once we are no longer in beta, you want to use the service, you'll be able to get as many instances as you desire. But for the beta, we were trying to test things, so we've arranged for it to be a single instance. So I've deleted my Liberty instance, and now I'm going to basically go back to the same thing. I'm going to create a full profile instance. And I go to Web and Application. I click on the Application Server in the cloud. You find the same offering portal, and I am going to create a server by the name of Full Profile. Let's make it Alan's Full Profile. And I'm going to select the Full Profile plan, and then click Create. So just like when we did Liberty, you're going to see that we're going to go off and create an instance of the application server running in a VM, and we actually do that fairly quickly, which is goodness, because what we intend on this, one of the use cases is a test use case where you can get resource, you can apply it, use it, and then tear it down. So in this particular case, this looks very similar to what you saw for Liberty with the same documentation, but the service type is full profile. It's running on the same type of instance of Red Hat. Yet in this particular case, the guest information is it's traditional WebSphere. So to log on, I do the same thing. This time I'm going to grab a new password because it's a different password for each time it provisions. And then I'm going to click on the admin console. You will have to proceed through this connection in your browser. And then you see the traditional admin console that you always see before. You've always seen before. So WSAdmin, the password I just copied, cut and paste, and I can bring up the admin console. I can install applications, which we'll do in another video, and we'll describe how to connect to the VPN. But you see, this brings up a full WebSphere admin server at version 8.5.5, and you can adjust and configure and script to your heart's content. So that's the end of our video, and thank you for watching.